Good morning, Internet. How in the world are you? This is Dr. Sean, and I am coming to you from the True Word Faith for Life podcast with Dr. Sean, True Word Faith for Life channel. And I would really appreciate if you are here. Just click on the like, let me know you're here. If you like to do chat, chat is open. So, are you a true Christian? Are you a true Christian? Are you living out your faith authentically? Now, what you can expect in this episode is we're going to dive deep into Romans 12, mostly 9 through 13, to explore what it truly means to be a genuine Christian. Um, that's a toughie, isn't it? Because we all think that we're in it. We all think that we are it. But maybe we are, maybe we aren't. And so join me as I unpack this Apostle Paul teaching on love, service, and sincerity. Whether you're new to the faith, or maybe you're a longtime believer, this discussion is going to challenge you. It's going to inspire you to live out your Christian values more fully. Are we perfect? No. Am I perfect? Oh, hard nope. Anyone who knows me knows that's true. However, perfection isn't what makes us true Christians. So let's find out what does. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell. You'll get notifications on everything, and doing blog posts too under the community tab, so you don't want to miss that. I put some perspective timestamps. I don't know that it'll go that long. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But maybe that'll help you find what you're looking for. So share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. That will be awesome. Like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. You have no idea what that does. Anyway, so I'm going to present this from two translations. I'm going to present it from the ESV and the Complete Jewish Bible. The Complete Jewish Study Bible. And the reason I'm doing that is I really like how the study Bible. So I'm going to go through it twice. Once in the ESV, and then again in the Complete Jewish Study Bible. Let love, so this is, remember what this is. This is Romans 12, 9 through 13. I probably will give some bonus verses. Let love be genuine. Well, I got to stop right there. Let love be genuine. You know, we went around and I don't know that a lot of people really know what love is, right? There's a lot of TV shows, a lot of reality shows. You know, one of my shows that I like to watch is Farmer Wants a Wife. I love that show because I empathize with how hard it is for farmers. That's why farmers are dropping out. That's why families are selling their farms for developments. Because the next generation doesn't want to do it. Why? Because farming is super hard, and they can't find spouses. So, you know, there's a show for that. Is it genuine? Is it complete? I don't know. I don't know. Not in all cases, but it certainly is, you know, bigger than an app. You have millions and millions of eyes on you. Anyway, we like it. It's a cute show. But there's other shows that talk about. Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate that. There are other shows that talk about love, and they try to show what love is, but really and truly, they're generally way off. We watch this other show. I watch a Indian Matchmaker, Jewish Matchmaker, and the Matchmaker, and they're all very, very different. They all come from different places, but I think it's interesting to see how people come together, and when they list what's important to them, when they list what they like, what they want, what their goal is. A lot of times that tells us how they define love. Love to them, what love is to them. And it's not always the case, but true, genuine love. Now, as believers, as people, as followers of the way, our love is defined differently. So let love be genuine. Let it be real. As defined by what or who? By Yeshua. That's why. That's how. Abhor what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with brotherly affection. Sisterly too. Outdo one another in showing honor. Listen, I got news flash for you. Don't, you know, it is okay to show kindness and love to other people. You can do it lots of different ways. If someone comes and stays at your home, they visit you, make a little welcome basket. Put a little letter in there saying what it means to them that you're there. I know my dear, dear friends, Larry and Dee Brock, two people I love absolutely dearly. They do that every time I come. And I stay in one of their beautiful, beautiful guest bedrooms, and that's just so sweet. And it's not really actually what's in the basket. It's just the letter and the kindness and how that's just such a thoughtful, hospitable, loving thing to do. That's brotherly affection. That's sisterly affection. That's outdoing one another and showing honor. Do not be slothful in zeal, but fervent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Listen, if you're a chump and you're slow moving, slothful, slow moving, and you're, I don't know, you never do it. You just talk about doing it. You're always talking about doing it. I'm overweight and I'm gonna do this and do that, and I'm gonna get this program, that program, and I'm gonna lose weight, and that's gonna be great. But you never do it. Something always in the way. I'm going to reach out to so-and-so, such and such, Joe Schmuckatelli or Josephine Schmuckatelli, and I'm going to tell them, how much I care about them and encourage them. Hey, I've got a friend, Dave. Dave just had major surgery a couple of days ago, and it's a big deal. It's a big, big deal. It's the same surgery that I have to have, and it's a tough one, and it went kind of quickly, and so if I say, well, I'll pray for you, but I don't do anything for him, if I don't reach out to him, if I don't give him encouragement, if I don't pray for him, come on. Do not be slothful in zeal. Be fervent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Listen, serving the Lord looks a lot of different ways. And sometimes it isn't sexy. Sometimes it's not cool. Sometimes it's picking up chairs, sweeping up after church. Sometimes it's running the sweeper. Sometimes it's coming in early and making the coffee and cleaning it up. And when everybody else is gone, you're there doing it. Sometimes it's working in the nursery. Nobody wants to do that, really. But they do it, changing diapers. That's fervent in spirit. That's serving the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Listen, so many people get so overwhelmed, so overcome by the tribulation, they forget to rejoice in hope. You know what? I have to tell you, going back to serving and helping a brother out. I don't. My neck is in a lot of pain. I've got to get it fixed, and very reluctant to do it. Usually it's okay, but now it's right now and for the past since Mother's Day, awful, utterly awful. It's excruciating pain, and it just won't go away. There seems to be nothing that I can do. I don't say that to make you feel sorry for me, but I'm really limited in what I can do. The fact of the matter of it is, my sweet neighbor Ryan said, "Hey, I'll weed eat for you. I'll trim because I can't hold the weed eater." So that's so lovely of him to do that. What a lovely neighborly thing. So sweet and so kind. And I offered him payment, and he said, no, I want to do this for you. And I so appreciate it. So, because I can ride on the tractor, but I can't do the weed eating part because you got to look down. And on the tractor, I can press myself back, and I can do the whole neck brace, and I'll look a sight out there. Boy, guarantee that. I'm going to try to walk to the mailbox today. Because my poor podcast puppy over here, Micah, he's like, man, Nana's going and I'm not getting walks. You're usually the walks dude. What's up? What gives? Why are we sitting with ice packs on our neck and then heat and all that? Hey, tribulation. It's tough, but at least I'm still here. I have the hope of improvement. And I have to be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. Listen, I got a newsflash for y'all. By the way, this is going fast because it's going fast. This is how, you got a busy Saturday and I don't want to prattle on. Anyway, be constant in prayer. That doesn't mean you're never to get up and walk away from where you are. You're just supposed to sit in one spot and pray. That means prayer is so much more than that. It's so much deeper, so much, so all-encompassing. It's a beautiful thing. Prayer is communication with God. We are nephesh. Human beings, we are nephesh, a Hebrew word which literally means the being that prays. We are nephesh. So we can pray, we can communicate with God. And by communicate, I'm saying conversation with God. So verse 13, contribute to the needs of the saints, and seek to show hospitality. Again, I go back to that basket that Larry and Dee do. I go back to the beautiful letters that Miss Linda Anzulis writes me of encouragement. I go back to Linda Foran and Sue and Miss Gloria and Sean and Angie and so many of the others who have stayed in contact from the Delaware Kehillah. I'm telling you, that was one of the most profound experiences of my life and in ministry. It's a beautiful thing. I make contact with people all the time who through their hospitality, which is a simple text or a simple call, hey, I only have a minute. I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about you. And I'm praying for you. Your name came to mind and I prayed for you and I wanted you to know it. I think that's a beautiful hospitality, and that's contributing to the needs of the saints. But listen, I mentioned running the sweeper. If somebody's hurt, somebody has a bad situation, running the weed eater, the trimmer. Somebody has that happen to them. That's a lovely thing. Now, it might also be, hey, man, your weeds are getting high. We're a little bit embarrassed. How about we don't want our property value to drop? I'm not saying that's why he did that. He did it because he's super kind, and I asked and he did it. My other neighbor, Scott, he sometimes he'll just randomly mow my front lawn, and he uses a push mower. And I like to always mow his grass with the little rider. I have one of those easy go zero turn mowers, and so I can sit, and the seat's super comfortable. It's amazing, has armrests, and if I need to wear my neck brace or my back brace or TLSO brace, I can do that and I can get it done. And so I can mow his front yard faster than he can with a push mower. And I like to do that. And it's not that he's repaying me, it's that he's doing a kindness. So many kindness, so many ways to show hospitality. Welcoming someone into your home. Hey, listen, we have this one friend who, Colleen's dearest friend, and when she comes over, she runs a little cold. And she's a little bitty thing, and I always want to turn the temperature where it's not freezing cold on her, which freezing cold to her is like 79 degrees. 80 is probably perfect. And so I don't want her to be cold. And so she goes, oh, I can wear a sweater. Oh, I can wear a blanket. I don't want her to do that. I want her to be comfortable. A little bit of being warm for me is worth it for her. Same way the other way, if somebody runs hot, maybe they have a health situation, just a kindness, clean towels put out for them, it's so sweet. It's so hospitable. Hey, do you have any dietary needs? I have one friend whenever we go, actually, I'll give you a even better example. My daughter and son-in-law, Lily and Mike, and certainly my sweet, beautiful Will, my grandson, my first and only grandchild. Ugh. Oh boy. You ever hear people say, oh, you just wait till you get grandchildren? Poof. Let me tell you what. I'm going to tell you this. Grandchildren are the greatest in the world. They are so flippin' awesome. Love my little boy child. He's just so precious. Oh, my goodness. But I know I got off on a tangent. I'm looking at a big giant picture of him right now. We're forehead to forehead, and he puts his little hand up on my face. That was heaven. Wish that would last forever. Anyway, Lily and Mike always reach out and say, hey, do you have any dietary restrictions? I know you're having some problems. What can we do to, what are things off the list? I had a neighbor bring over a homemade, sourdough bread, because I can have sourdough bread, and brought over homemade granola. Meeting the needs and what are your specific needs. And it's so wonderful, and just brought it over and left it by the door with a little note. That's so sweet and so kind. Contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality. Listen, churches, you don't want to know why the people aren't flocking to the church, because they're not seeing the church contributing to the needs of the saints. The most generous organization in the world is the church, the Christian church. However, also one of the biggest weaknesses of the Christian church is that a lot of times we don't contribute to the needs of the saints, and we don't seek to show hospitality. Listen, if you have a church and you're there and you're a person who just wants to get in and get out, you don't want to be seen, but you still kind of feel a little bit of, I'm going to say butthurt. My son says I shouldn't use that on Christian, but it's a real thing, butthurt. But then you're a little bit butthurt that nobody reached out to you. Listen, if you isolate yourself, you're going to be isolated. And you know what happens when you get isolated? You get lonely, your feelings get hurt. But you did it to yourself, so stop doing that. So show hospitality to them. Reach out to them. Say hey to the person sitting next to you. Shake some hands on the way out. Good to see you. Thank you very much for doing this service. You see somebody putting up chairs. Hey, thanks for doing that. These are all lovely things. You're standing by the coffee and there's a greeter there that says, hey, welcome. Hey, thank you so much for this coffee and these little, I don't know, donuts or whatever it is. It's lovely. Listen, I'm going to tell you a quick story. We went to, it was a God thing, total God thing. There's a church called the Vineyard Church of Marysville in Ohio. And I had a house in Marysville, Ohio, way out in the middle of the country. It was a little country house, not very big. I loved it, but it was not a big house, but it was on 1 acre in the middle of 2,500 acres of farmland. And so I have to tell you, when my wife and I got together, I had that house and we had to get rid of that house. We needed to get rid of that house. And I have to tell you, it was really something. Terrible experience with renters, just horrible. So finally we said, that's it, getting rid of this thing. So there's a lot of work needed to be done. Well, as you know, in Ohio, it snows basically 11 and a half months of the year. It's the tundra. And the rest of the time it's humid and hot and just, no offense, gray most of the time. So it snows a lot there. So we worked all day. We were grimy, nasty, dirty. There was 18 inches of new snow on the ground and supposed to snow again because it snows every 5 minutes there. And when we were going, I think we were trying to get something to eat and we were headed out of town, and I look over and there's all these cars gathering at this church. I'm like, what do you think that is? And Colleen said, well, I don't know. It could be a wedding or something. I said, I don't know. 6 o'clock on a Saturday? People have weddings like that? You never know. It was right next to a liquor store, by the way. I think they have a whole new building now. But anyway, the point of this is we'd never been in there. I'm telling you, we were dirty, sweaty, dirty, tired, just wore out. Our souls were weary. And literally, it was a tough time. And I have to tell you, I said, well, why don't we just go? And she's like, no, I don't want to. But we did. We drove up, and a really nice lady, toting children out of her little minivan. She was dressed, jeans, boots, sweater, jacket, the deal. The mode of dress in Ohio, 11 and a half months out of the year. And so I said, hey, what's going on here? And she goes, well, we're having church. Why don't you all come in? And I was like, oh, no, we're grimy, we're dirty. And she's like, hey, all of us are too. No worries, it's Saturday night, And I told Colleen, I said, well, why don't we do that? And we go in there, and they're the nicest people. I'm telling you, they understand. Them and Grace Community Topsail in Hampstead, North Carolina, are two of the most genuine churches I think I've ever been to, including, I would say, the Kehala is in there, the Newark, Delaware Kehala. Beautiful, beautiful, welcoming bunch of people. Anyway, we were so welcome from the second we came in, genuinely. There was a guy with no arms, right? He had prosthetic arms. And his wife, he was standing next to his wife, handing out cookies and coffee and hot chocolate. And first of all, the cookies were blazing, and the coffee was good. I knew I had a 2.5 hour ride home, back to the Arctic tundra. And so, but here we are at this church. We didn't know anything about these people, but so loving and so kind. And so we go and we kind of stand where in the congregation where we're kind of, like I talked about earlier, a little bit of self-isolation. We just, we're dirty and I don't know. We don't know these people. And it comes praise time, and there's this beautiful young woman who gets up and sings the voice of an angel. And I look over and there's people with their arms in the air, you know, heads tilted back. I can't do it because of my neck, but they were in it. They were in the worship. They were praising God. They were worshiping God. They were connecting and communing with God. It wasn't just about whipped up emotionalism. It was a true, genuine, authentic, beautiful connection with God. And then I looked over, and I'm telling you, it brought me to tears. I nudged Colleen and I said, look at that. And it was the guy with no arms, you know, hooks, literally hooks in the air. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then the guy who, Steve and Colleen Wood were the husband and wife that led the church. I don't know if they're still there now. I don't have any idea. But Steve was, I don't know if he still is, a mechanic, a car mechanic. And that's what he did for a living. The church couldn't pay his bills. It was a little tiny church. But he was, I'm telling you what, it was a beautiful thing. I don't know why this keeps zooming. I apologize, y'all. Let me change this to here. Let me go over here. Oy, oy, oy. I didn't tell it to zoom. Do not zoom. I'm going to turn that off. I might have made a gesture or something. This has gesture control. It's wild. Anyway, still doing it. Why is it doing that? I don't know. I do not know why it's doing that. I don't know the answer. Don't know how to fix it. So I apologize. I know that kind of makes people AI Zoom. Oh, yeah. AI Zoom is on. I don't want that. All right. Hopefully we're fixed. Boom. Maybe I turned it on somehow. I made a face or something. I don't know. Anyway. There we go. Or fixed. Sorry for anybody that was getting sick. I just looked up and noticed it. So I genuinely apologize. That is my error. So anyway. So Steve gets up there in his boots. And I could see when he lifts his hands or moves his hands are mechanic dirty. You know, they're mechanic clean, they're mechanic dirty. They're clean, they've been washed 1,000 times, but they're still dark from grease and oil, and you could see that they were calloused, and he worked hard and delivered one of the most genuine, most beautiful messages I think I've ever heard. I wish I had a recording of it. We were so moved that when we got the opportunity down the road to give a gift, they were one of the gifts. We gave $10,000 to the church. And just sent it, and they were like, "What? Did you send this? Did you mean to send this?" I mean, thank you, but it was years later, you know, and our situation changed a little bit. We said, "Hey, let's give." We wanted to give to my school and give to there. Anyway, the point of the thing is, afterwards, and by the way, we were in tears most of the time. We had goosebumps most of the time. It was such a God thing. But afterwards, the hospitality continued. We knew we had a long ride home. They said, "Hey, you know, once you have some of this, once you have some of that, you know, fill your belly up a little bit for on the way home, and let us know how we can help you. Give us your number. We can help you out. If you're down, if there's anything we can do for you." And they meant it. We left there saying, "Man, boy, do we feel loved. Boy, is that Christian hospitality." It was so beautiful. It was so sweet. Look, I want to read this to you. We never forgot it, as you can tell. I'm going to read this to you. I'll read all the way through. I won't remember myself. That's a lie. I probably will. This is from the Complete Jewish Study Bible translation. "I exhort you, therefore, brothers, in view of God's mercies, to offer yourselves as a sacrifice, living and set apart from God. This will," now as you can see, I'm going back for context. "This will please him. It is the logical temple worship for you." In other words, Paul is telling, hey, this is how we do temple worship. In other words, do not let yourself be conformed to the standards of Olam Hazeh. Instead, keep letting yourselves be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you will know what God wants and will agree that what he wants is good, satisfying, and able to succeed. Anyway, let's go on to 9. Don't let love be a mere outward show. Recoil from what is evil and cling to what is good. Love each other devoutly and with brotherly love. Set examples for each other in showing respect. Don't be lazy when hard work is needed, but serve the Lord with spiritual fervor. Rejoice in your hope, be patient in your troubles, and continue steadfastly in prayer. Share what you have with God's people and practice hospitality. Oh, my goodness, come on. How practical is that? How real is that? Don't you love that? I love how that word is put. I love how they directly put that. Very accurate, extremely accurate translation. Just lovely. So in the context of modern day Christianity, Romans 12, 9 through 13, it holds timeless principles. They're relevant. They're applicable to believers today. Hey, look, this was written a long time ago, and it still applies. No, it wasn't written to us, but it was written as an example to us that we can follow, that we certainly should model after. Anyway, it serves as really how Christians are to live and interact with others in their daily lives. So let's go through it right quick, because you have stuff to do on Saturday. Genuine love. Believers are called to show authentic and sincere love to everyone. This means our love shouldn't be fake. It should be real. It should be without hypocrisy or hidden agendas or hidden motives. It should reflect the selfless love that Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, demonstrated. You know, there's a lot of fake love out there. Listen, come on now. Somebody say amen. There's a lot of fake. Thank you for that like. I appreciate that. Amen. Thank you for clicking on here today. I know it's a weird time. I'm moving on because I know you're busy. Look, there's a lot of fake love out there. We were just shown what real love is. So, selfless love. That's what Yeshua demonstrated. Rejecting evil, embracing good. That's number 2. Rejecting evil, embracing good. We're encouraged to abhor what is evil and cling to what is good. The world of moral ambiguity reminds us to hold fast to God's standards and values. Listen, are we expected to be perfect? No. That's an unrealistic expectation given the fact that we are mortal. We certainly drive toward that. But we all have hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And we all strive to make each other better, help each other, lift each other, encourage each other, show one another love and kindness. But we're to reject evil. Listen, there's a dark, evil world out there. Together, let's reject it. Let's not beat people over the head. Let's focus on the Jewish example is less evangelical in word and more evangelical in doing. A Jew is more focused on doing the will of God than talking about the will of God. So remember that as you go through. Number 3, brotherly affection. I'm almost finished. Brotherly affection. Christians are called to treat each other like family. Now, if your family treat each other like heck, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I mentioned being an a-hole. Don't be an a-hole. In my last podcast, I said, don't be an a-hole. You know, stop doing that. Treat each other with kindness and affection. If you are we to keep loving even when we know the other person is using that love that we give them? We are to love carefully. With abandon, but carefully. So Deborah has a great question. What happens when the other person, you know that person is not receiving that love? Sometimes you have to be judicial in the effort that you put in and where. And sometimes when someone is toxic, I talked about this in a recent episode where I talked about what happens if you have a friendship that's inequitable, right? The other side of the friendship never calls. They never text. The only time you ever talk is when you call or when you text. Or the only time, they ever approach you is when you approach them, right? And so you think, I wonder how genuine that is. So yeah, I 100% understand that. You have to be a little bit judicious about how you spend your love, right? Because it's not unlimited, it's unconditional. Now, that doesn't mean that if a person is not reciprocating toward you, maybe their intentions aren't good, doesn't mean you're not to still love them. It just means judicious application of that love. Sometimes people are like hugging a cactus, right? So they show you who they are. And you be kind and you be good to them, you be authentic to them. But sometimes when there's toxicity involved, you kind of pump the brakes a little bit and kind of move over to that other lane, work your way out of their lane, give yourself some little bit of distance there. Still be kind, still be authentic, but understand that you're not trying to eat their razor blades, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, that's a great question. So Christians are called to treat each other like family, showing deep and caring affection. And this is about within the body of believers and outside the, oh, you bet. It's my pleasure. This emphasizes the unity and community that should exist among believers. But listen, we have to show this not just among believers, but also among people outside of us, right? This is how they shall know us by our love for one another, our brotherly love for one another. We focus so much on bumper sticker theology and saying things that we simply don't model, right? We talk about how joyful we are. We sing how joyful we are, but we don't tell our face. We don't tell our heart. We don't tell our worry. And so we end up not being attractive to anybody because we don't live that joy. One of my podcasts is I did from my daughter and son-in-law's front porch. Oh, beautiful home, beautiful front porch. I did that. Look in there. I think I did that as a live too. I'm not sure. Joy. How do you spell joy? And I think you'll love that. And that hadn't gotten a lot of play, but of course I didn't have 300. I think I have 300 followers now. Thank you to all of you. Share it with everybody you know. I really appreciate it. Anyway, the unity and community that should exist among believers, that's what we should be demonstrating to others. But we don't, right? Because we're fallible, hurts, habits, and hang-ups people. A lot of times we're afraid. And, there's a lot of church hurt that's manipulated and manipulative. And there's a lot of church hurt that's real. So we have to be, we have to carefully deal with all of those things. Number 4, outdoing and honor. Man, I love talking about this. Rather than competing negatively, believers are encouraged to compete in showing honor to one another. This promotes humility and mutual respect and a culture of uplifting one another. Give compliments. Be kind. Share in each other's struggles and share in each other's joys. Be excited for another person when something great happens to them. Be humble. Listen, I'm not talking about humble bragging. I'm talking about humble. And I'm telling you, humility and mutual respect, that's a culture for uplifting one another. And when someone walks into a church, if it's your church, and they walk in and they feel that, they experience that firsthand, they'll want to come back because it's real. It's real. It's so beautiful. Number 5, because I can't do this forever, zeal and fervor. The call to be fervent in spirit and not slothful in zeal. It reminds postmodern Western evangelical Christians to maintain our passion and our enthusiasm for serving God, and individually and collectively doing so. It's easy to get worn down. It's easy to go, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of working. I'm so tired of doing this. There's a lady at our church named Miss Sandra. Such a lovely, lovely human being. She's so sweet. Oh my goodness. She's so sweet. Just adore her. She sends out cards of encouragement to me. She sends out cards of encouragement to my family. Mails them out, handwrites them. Just lovely. She has no idea what that does for me. And I don't write so legibly. I don't write legibly at all. So, I try to always remember to tell her and give her a hug on Sunday, hug her neck and tell her. And she's a little bitty thing, so I have to bend way down, but it's worth it. And just such a dear, dear lady. And my friend who I want to come on this show, he does the same thing. He sends cards out and wishes happy birthday to the whole church. Everybody gets a card. He does that. Church doesn't make him do it. Church doesn't pay for it. He just does it, him and his wife. If he hadn't seen you in a while, hey, you doing all right? Just want to make sure you're okay, individually and collectively, right? Rejoicing and patience. This is number 6. We only have 2 more to go. Rejoicing in hope and being patient in tribulation. That acknowledges very real hurts, habits, and hang-ups, life's challenges, while we're highlighting the importance of maintaining a hopeful attitude and enduring patiently. Listen, oh boy, that hurt. Why in the world did I turn my head like that? I shook my head. That was dumb. Anyway, there's an importance of maintaining a hopeful attitude. Look, I hope that this neck gets better on its own. I hope it does. I hope it improves. Probably won't. Supposed to have, get it worked on, but yeah, we'll see. I go see a specialist, I think, on Tuesday, I think. Whatever number day that is, 21, I think. I don't know. Don't remember. Anyway, the point is, I'm hopeful about that. And I'm hopeful about my future. I know that when I may suffer till the moment I close my eyes, and this suffering may get a lot worse. And you know what? That's okay, because I'm hopeful. Because I believe, I know in whom I believe, and I know that he is able to do what he said he would do. And he said that one day he's going to heal my body perfectly. He's going to give me a new body that's without pain, sorrow, or tears, without struggle. And I'm to endure patiently for that. Constant prayer. Listen, that does not mean never opening your eyes. That does not mean never getting off the floor. Because if we're in constant prayer, but we never get up and do those other things, 6 through 1 and number 8, if we never do those things, if we're just doing prayer, prayer is a huge thing, but we have to do. This is an action thing. In our busy lives, the call to be constant in prayer, look, it reminds postmodern Western evangelical Christians, it reminds Messianic Christians, Messianic Jews, followers of the way, to maintain an ongoing, real relationship with Hashem through prayer. The Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, to remain connected through Him. Remain Yeshua HaMashiach, to stay in contact with Jesus the Christ, the Messiah. And we're to seek His guidance, and we're to ask for His strength. Yikes, why do I do that? Why do I wobble my head like that? It's so stupid. Generosity, here's number 8. Thank God there's not 28. Boy, I wouldn't make it. I'd fall over. Generosity and hospitality. The emphasis on contributing to the needs of fellow believers. Oh, let me tell you how beautiful that is. I've experienced it firsthand. I've experienced it on the receiving end, and I've experienced it on the giving end. When we gave those gifts, we were able to give some gifts. We weren't rich people. It wasn't like we had an extra 10,000 laying around. We just had an opportunity and we took it. And that blessed them. That provided for them for the Vineyard of Marysville and for the other places that we gave equal gifts. It blessed them. Now, at the end of it, we didn't have anything but the joy of knowing that we were able to bless them. It didn't make life easier for us, so we weren't in it to get. But I will tell you this. Oh, what joy it gave us, and still does to this day. So contributing to the needs of fellow believers might not be money. It might be, I always mention running the sweeper. Listen, if you're a person that's whiny and just negative, but you say, look, I got to get out of this whiny and negative business, so I'm gonna see about helping. Call up so and say, hey, I heard that you had surgery and all that, or maybe your neck is all busted up. Maybe I could run the weed eater, or maybe I could run the sweeper and wash your dishes. Now, if you're going to do that, do a good job. Don't come over there and spend 45, 60, 80, 100 minutes jabbering about how tough your struggles are. Woe is me. Don't be the Eeyore. Don't be the Eeyore Christian. Be the Winnie the Pooh Christian, but do stuff. Do real things. Show hospitality. Contributing to the needs of fellow believers and showing hospitality, true Christian hospitality, that encourages Christians, new Christians and old Christians alike, to be compassionate, to care, and to be generous in meeting the needs of others. Listen, I'm almost finished here. Overall, Romans 12, 9 through 13, it provides a roadmap for Christians in the modern world to navigate our relationships, to deal with our attitudes and to really direct our actions in ways that reflect Christ's teaching and to bring glory to God. Serves as a reminder to live out our faith with sincerity, love, humility. That's the hardest one. Humility. Man, I'll tell you what, I used to be a stud. I know that's crazy to say, but I'm telling you, physically, I was a stud. Mentally, I had this crazy brain that could remember things forever. I could read a book in a matter of an hour, a full-size book in a matter of an hour. I read with blazing speed and remembered almost everything that I read. Spoke multiple languages. Gone. Boy, you want to talk about humble. You know, hey, how's it going? That'll humble you. Hey, how's it going? That'll humble you. You know, being brought to the point of tears in pain, that will humble you. Struggling to do the stupidest of things. Can't tie your shoes anymore. Are you kidding me? I used to climb. I used to be no matter what the challenge was, I could do it. But I've been humbled. And you know what? I needed to be humbled. I guarantee you that I needed some humility. People say, oh, I feel so bad. It's such a bad... Listen, I deserve what I get. I don't know about you, but I deserve what I get. And you say, whoa, we're in the age of grace. The blood covers it and blah, blah, blah. I got a news flash for you. That doesn't mean we escape consequence. We escape hell, but we don't escape the consequences here on earth. Look, we have to develop a commitment to serving others. If we are a Christian, and we are hidden out in our home, and we're in our country club churches, and we never serve or help. Listen, if you live in a cold climate, and you have a giant church, and you have a huge budget, and you don't put coats on poor people, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be doing. If you live in a hot climate, and you know people are sitting in their homes roasting away because they can't pay for air conditioning, the least you can do is buy them a fan. If you know people are hungry around you and you have a kitchen in your church, I can't wait till our new church is built. We'll have a kitchen again. We'll be able to do things like feeding people that need to be fed. If you have an ability to provide a baby pantry for poor people who are struggling, abused mamas who are doing it on their own, even families that say, "Hey, we've lost a job," and you can help provide for those babies. That is a commitment to serving others. That is what we are supposed to be doing. Look, the passage is pretty straightforward. It's easy to understand. But the big question, the $1 million question, is do you find it easy to put into daily practice? The only thing I have to ask you is, how much better would our lives be if we all did this? Now, I'm delivering this with unexplainable love, the unexplainable love of Yeshua HaMashiach, of Hashem, of Adonai Elohim, the One. I've got a news flash for you. This is free of charge at no cost or obligation to you. You can live with that unexplainable love. But sometimes, and look, it was 8 steps. It could have been 100, really. But those are the simple, easy ones. How much better would our lives be if we all did this? I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you clicking on subscribe, like, and hitting the little bell and sharing with all your millions of friends. I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. Shalom and shalom.